right, so Palm Springs Art Museum. So we're continuing on with the Illuminaire house. The previous one I sent, I got these all sent for you guys, the directionals. Probably get routing on those first. So this is the continuation. So this is going to be the essentially a blade sign that has push throughs. It's illuminated. And like everything else we seem to be doing now with Churrasco and this thing, everything's got corners on it. So this thing has a corner and it's going to attach to a steel fence that they're going to build. And so it's kind of a challenge though, because I got it extended to 2.5 inches wide. Got you guys a little bit of room in there. But as usual, we're trying to cram 10 pounds of manure into a, knockoff coach bag. So, and when things get when they get artsy, they get sort of fiddly. So we got to make sure that, you do everything in proper order and check out the stuff that could hose us. So, but with that said, let's get after it. So lay of the land. So we have frame pieces. It's all 09 there. We got the jiggies, got solid jiggies to make this thing because there's no room. And then you got some little jiggies here for the wing, I'm calling it, for the corner. You got the actual front skins that will be one piece when it turns the corner. And then you got the back skins and you have the removable panel. And then you have the little side skin for the wing. And so here we go. We got the power vault. It's going to look very familiar. If you guys start in on the chevrons, I borrowed heavily from that. And we have the 1/4 inch aluminum mounts. So I'll go over that, show you what's up with that. So part of the freakiness is we have the artsiness is we have 1/2 inch aluminum faces that go on top of the 1.5 inch acrylic pushies. So I'll go over the ideas for that. We got our white 063s for the LEDs. We have all the pieces for our pushies, 1.5 inch. And we have our usual 1/8 inch clear tough axe that we'll get, we get those to the first shot. So that being said, just the way it's going to go, there's going to be 3 posts, and those 3 posts will be where they're going to weld on a piece, and then our little brackets are going to attach to that. So because this thing's so skinny, there's not going to be really any access for you guys to get your gun in to sort of do conventional jigs on the main body. So essentially we're just going to be creating our own sort of almost 4 inch by 2.5 inch extrusions, sort of like a rectangle tube. So you're just going to go ahead and take these jigs. Now I have them kind of backwards. B is for back, and then you have the face is down here. So, and then both of them have the built-in jig that's going to turn the corner. So you're going to bend this and you're going to bend this, and that's going to turn the corner and go into the wing. So you can see where I have green here, that turns the corner. On the back side, it's shorter, and it's going to bonk into the first support inside the wing. And then same thing with the face. It's going to come around this way, one piece around and bonk into there. And then that's how the actual wing part is going to attach. So the wing is more of a conventional small frame here, but it's going to butt into and attach using this guy, like that's that guy there, and then you can see that guy there. So that's a continuation of, so that would be, that piece goes into there. So that's how that's going to work. So you're just going to get that frame all built. And then, like I say, you're not going to have any access. What I would do is start with the inside frame first, get these long pieces here, put them in, Cleco it together. You might have access with the gun, before you put the caps on here, you should be able to get your gun in there if you want to tack on the inside, but I don't know if it's that important. If you get this thing all Clecoed together and this guy all Clecoed together, then you're just going to work your way like you do, and you're just going to tack inside the 09 void here and just work your way around, tack it all together, and then you're going to clean it up really well. And then this is going to be one of those ones that the skins do all the work. So they're going to actually lords and bring everything together. So that's the idea there. You will have the voids like we do when we do this kind of method. But rather than give you these little like spacer pieces, I figure we'll just build up some good lords right there, do some good splotches. And when you go to put the face on, that'll help stabilize that. So, but this having the solid corner, this is not going to be like the Churrasco. You're going to be able to clamp and bend this side, and then this is going to wrap around in one piece and give us a nice solid corner piece there. So, But anyway, so that's that. So you'll see, but just make sure you've got the face and the back, because obviously they're very asymmetrical. The back side has all the holes that are necessary to put the back panel in. The face does not have that. And then the face side will have this little C channel, and that C channel is what's going to support the faces, the face seam. So when it comes together like there's your face seam. So anyway, so that's kind of how it's all going together. But, you know, shoot studs, bend it all up. Now, whether or not, if you guys are going to do these first, you'll know that like this guy here has an order sequence on the back side of which one to Lords first and which one to Lords second. So for sure, you're going to Lords these guys on first on the back side. And then this guy tucks in, he kind of loses. So he comes up short, literally. So that way, so that's going to be the back thing. Now, before you put skins on or anything, the three, you know, because this thing is not really going to be serviceable, but we have to build it in a way that you can access the front. And I went back and forth on this, and I really had to think it through. But in order to be able to put all the push throughs in, the actual mount, you know, 1/4-inch plate things had to be removable, so they couldn't actually be attached to the frame itself permanently. So they had to be almost temporary. Now this corner wing though, there's no reason to get into it. So it's a little different. So you're just going to have this single piece of 1/4-inch that has corresponding holes that you're going to line up with the first brace. And the first brace has the holes there. And this will work for number 10 self-tappers. So get those boys out, wake them up. And you're just going to go ahead and self-tap that guy sticking out. And then that's good. That's permanent. And then you can go ahead and trap it with the face on the front. And you can see I have the slot here. And you can trap it with the back, you know, the back skin. So you're good there. But in order to obviously be able to service it and or assemble this thing, then these main braces here, these three had to be removable. So that gets us down to here. So you'll have 3 of these braces. So there's the wing, right? And then you'll have these 3 braces here. These guys are the same. It's just that these 2 are the same. And then I just called this A. Let's just say A for arbitrary. It doesn't really matter. But because of the way it all kind of works out, this guy is like actually, you know, justified over this way. So you're going to burn him, and then you're going to burn these guys, make sure they're 90, make sure they're all square. And then they're going to be able to go in after when you're all said and done. So A is going to tuck into this corner because it has to avoid the house, and also it has to attach to this guy. So just the way that worked out with house is in the way, kind of pushing this, but it's up against the frame. He's kind of weird. So A goes over on this side, and then these 2 guys are identical. So the whole idea is you're going to do your pushies, get this thing built. So it's all done, get it out to paint. When you bring it back in, you're going to do your pushies first. You're going to get that all nailed down. And then you're going to slide these in, line up your holes. And I have that all set up there. You can see where they go right here. So you'll have that guy there. A goes over here is justified. And this guy's over here. So same thing. So once you get all the pushies in, you're ready to go, then you can shoot screws and get those in there. Then they'll be quote unquote semi-permanent. So they're just meant to not ever come out. They shouldn't have to come out. The other thing is too, you want to go ahead and rivet in these guys. These are going to be your white holders. You want to make sure that the flange is to the back. That way it gives you, you know, towards the back there, the flange, because you want to make sure that gives you about 2 inches from your white to your face. So that's up here. So you can see where that's one of the tabs there. It's got a big tab there for 2. That's going to split it. I kept these flat so that way they can kind of bend. You're going to kind of have to thread the needle. Once these supports are in, you're going to put these in first, the orange supports. Then you're going to bring these in and kind of slide them as best you can, flap them, bend them in there, try to get them, you know, tucked in somehow, see what's up. I went ahead and notched them so it should fit into where that guy goes there. So, but good luck with that. See what's up. Maybe you might have to modify these a little bit, you know, but tried to see all of it in Corel, but sometimes it's hard to see what actually happens in real life. So, but anyway, so that's how those guys will go. So pushies, get everything nailed down, put your oranges in, nail those in, and then you're going to bring in your power. Now I do have the collection point here. And then the whole idea is that it's going to be a ground vault. But when they go to install this, it's not going to be really, there's not going to be a way to open this in the field. So you're going to have to make sure that you bring all this together really well and then put on a really long leash, because then they'll have to take that leash down probably whatever the 6-foot fence is or 4-foot fence, or I don't know how tall this fence is. And then that's going to have to run all the way down to the ground vault. So we can't work backwards on this where, install can run the wire into the sign in the field, because they're not going to be able to really open this. And then once this goes onto the actual fence, it's not really meant to be serviceable per se without bringing it all off the fence. And then you have to take your back panel off and all that. So it is kind of a pain in the booty. But once this stuff gets really artsy and jewelry, then we usually lose our ability to do good service work. So anyway, so that's that. Just make sure that when you go to wire it up and everything, you got a really long leash. You might consider getting some 14 gauge in, so that way we can do a longer leash than 15 feet. But 15 feet might be enough to get the party started. As long as it can get to the ground, then we're good to go. So, but that's going to be that. Make sure you get those riveted in, get the wing in there. So that's all good there. Let's talk about the power vault. So the power vault, I just literally took the Indio one and I sliced it in half. So you're just going to have the one side with the switch, and then I just made so it's probably going to be one power supply, but I figured since we got, the possibility, who knows what's up. So it's just going to be a skinny version. Again, I'd like to see some Sloan waterproof go in there, the wet location ones, but you have provisions for both. But I think it'll only need one power supply. But it's going to be this little guy here, and it's going to be just like I said, it's a chopped down version of the chevrons. So it'll be kind of the same thing, though. It just goes in there. It has a little lid that sticks up above the ground, and then they can run their rigid over there. So, and then just make sure it's all sealed up. I don't know why I did it on the other one, but unlike the chevrons, make sure flanges are out like we do, so that way the rivets are on the outside. I'm considering possibly changing this piece around for the chevrons so we can flip them. But anyway, so make sure the flanges are out on this one. We're all good. So that's the ground vault. So when it comes time to do your pushies, not much here, just do the push throughs. But the push throughs are going to have 1/4-inch nubs. So you can see here, I have the nubs. They're going to be 1/4-inch tall. And the idea is that way the 1/2-inch acrylic or 1/2-inch aluminum, when it gets stuck to the face, hopefully will stay there. So that way it doesn't just slide off. When you go to put these in, it's pretty obvious that these guys all look a lot alike. Because you have like the vertical for the I, and you have the vertical for the R, and you have the vertical for the E, and then you have a couple of H verticals. How do you know which one's which? So I went ahead and made sure I homogenized, or whatever you say. So all the verts are the same for the I, the R, the E, all these verts, except for the H. But I staggered those so that way it's impossible for you to stick the metal, the 1/2-inch aluminum from the E it just won't fit. So go ahead and put all the verticals are all the same for all the normals. The other thing is that you'll see that I put nubs on everything that's up. So this is the back flange of the pushy. So when you go to put it up there, look for these little nubs and do your best to kind of figure out which one goes in which, because I know the N can be confusing, but these are different sizes for the M and the N. So it should be clear enough. You should be able to figure that out. But when you go to put these in, look for these tabs here, and then that you'll be able to tell which way's up. So look for the nubbins, and then same thing for the A and all that, and then the L will be obvious. And then also, I made the top nubbins of all of these bigger. So these are 3/16 circumference, and these are 1/4-inch. So you see the blue ones here. Obviously, they won't be blue when you're looking at them. But if you look for this nub here, and if you look for the 1/4-inch nub, those are all up. Also, I changed the position of the 1/4-inch nub for the E. So you'll see that the center nub is the bigger one, and then there's no nub on this one, and then I put the big nub on this side. So that way, because I know you could, flip this over or whatever. So when you go to put the 1/2-inch aluminum on, you'll see where the nubs are different sizes. So that should give you a clue to make sure you don't accidentally flip this one over. So it's impossible to put this one onto that one. And so you'll find that with all these, you know, there's no way to accidentally put this on upside down when you go to put the metal on, because the nubs. So I really suggest going through and test fitting everything. I have a 0.01 around all of the nubs, so these are bigger. And when it comes to gluing on the 1/2 inch aluminum to the pushies, silicone obviously probably the best, but if you want some extra security, maybe we bring in the Lord's 7550 clear, you know, urethane epoxy, and then maybe that would be a little more secure. Also, be careful. They wanted these to be sharp corners. So these are being routed not like push throughs with the rounded corners. They want these to be sharp corners. Okay. All right. So good luck with that point there. Good luck with that point. So just be careful when you're working with these. But yes, they want the push throughs to be square going through the round. So we had to kind of manually do, JR did a pretty good job on this. So we manually radiused the aluminum side for 1/8 inch and then kept the acrylic sharp, but it should be enough to allow it in. So just keep that in mind though, that if you have to, maybe what I would do is I would test fit these first. I would test fit these to make sure that they're going in proper and you don't have to kind of adjust any of the, but they do not want the corners of the acrylic or the metal rounded. So if anything doesn't fit, you're going to kind of have to adjust the aluminum face a little bit to make sure it gets in there. So, but I think we oversized this enough to where we should be okay. But like I say, go ahead and give it all a test to make sure it's all good. So once you get these guys in there, once you get it all buttoned up, you just put the backer on, frap it closed. And then once the last thing you want to do, though, because this is artsy, however, it's tough to get in there, is that you might have a little bit of light leak around here. So I did the best I could to, you know, when you put the brackets through here, also make sure you use the Hakko bushing that's kind of closed up. I don't know if you do like a masking job and mask it off really well and then just try to do caulk around that and then pull the masking so it's not too crazy. Or if you want to try to do some foam on the inside of this to where it barely slides, you know, put some weather stripping foam or something, and then you slide it over and it'll help block that. But I think we're going to want to try to get rid of that light leak. I tried to make it as like close as I dare, but you got to have some room there. So keep in mind that there will be some backside light leaks unless we deal with them. So try to keep that in mind when it comes to assembly. See what's up with that. You know, kind of good luck on that. I didn't really have a strategy for that, but it is what it is. It's the best we could do. So watch out for that. This side is non-illuminated, so you don't got to worry about it. I don't think the light will turn the corner too quickly on that. So, all right. So anyway, so I think that's it. You know, you guys, I'm sure you can see what's up, see what needs to be done, but just kind of giving you a heads up on some of the real funky little fiddly stuff you're going to have to deal with. So anyway, but yeah, good luck with this on this metal and stuff. See what's up with that. So anyway, but if you have any questions, as usual, hit me up. Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Check the technique. Check the technique.